Let's keep it real here. Fall of Cybertron will forever be one of the greatest Transformers games out there, despite the sheer fact that the original ending was supposed to be the darn trailer. Like, I don't understand why y'all did us like that with that ending. And then y'all expect us to try to find out how we connected to Transformers Prime. I'm just tired of it. But today, we're going to see if one of my favorite Maximals, the absolute rough and tough Depthcharge, can actually complete this game. All Autobot campaigns, we're kicking the Decepticon ones to the curb. So, without further ado, y'all know how this works here. We are actually going to have to scale Depthcharge, believe it or not, here. Because again, the Aligned continuity does have some characters that are, planetary and stuff, even though he mainly will be fighting drones here. But to be honest, Depthcharge and the Beast Wars continuity are actually pretty powerful. Believe it or not, they actually get to planetary pretty consistently here. And, well, this is because of their Transmetal 3 bodies. You see, Depthcharge is one of the few that can actually push around characters like Megatron, Optimus Primal in this Transmetal 2 stage, and believe it or not, the Maximals have been able to shrug off mountain busting, explosions as if they were nothing. And believe it or not, this is not where they stop here. Because of the properties of Transmetal, we have to look at how it was created. The Transmetal was created by a quantum surge, which was the result of a planet-busting explosion that the Maximals were able to destroy. So, the Maximals were actually caught in this planetary explosion and, well, transformed by it instead of being killed here. Meaning that the Maximals are consistently in a, I guess you could say they all have like a planetary plus or a planetary base, and Depthcharge should be one of the higher ups. By the way, I definitely want a figure that looks like this for Depthcharge. That just looks so fun. Now, the first thing we got to talk about is the first part of the campaign, which is basically Optimus Prime being Optimus Prime here. So, Depthcharge is going to have to go through the basics. Just drones, right? So we start off with the basic drones. Nothing special, just some rapid fire, that's about it. But they're easy to take care of. Then you got the Seekers. Again, basic fire. They can transform the cars. They have some jets in there as well. They're simple. However, the difficulty does come when it comes to the Marauders. Okay? Now, the Marauders are basically giant mobile land tanks, if you will. They actually have two functions. They have their more corrosive, their more adhesive firepower, which actually burns the opponent over time. And then there's their more health draining power with them getting close here. Then we have the shotgunners. Yeah. You remember those guys? You know, the ones that where you put Fall of Cybertron on high difficulty and they keep killing you? Yeah, who doesn't love those guys? Oh, gosh, I freaking hate them. But anyway, yeah, Depthcharge should be actually able to get through this for multiple reasons here. The only ones I can actually see him struggling with initially would be the Leapers. But again, if they turn around, you could just hit them from the back, no diddy, and just blow them up. So, believe it or not, the Marauders and the Leapers are actually going to be the only problems here. But again, Depthcharge should be able to get around them. For starters, he is a flyer, and that really shouldn't be, any problems to him at all. And then the Leapers, he can always just use his thrusters to outmaneuver them as well. And then when they go up, or at least when they use their launches to jump in the air, he could simply shoot them with his, I guess you could say, his fish cannon or his tuna cannon, and just end them there. So, believe it or not, Depthcharge should be able to get through this chapter mid-difficulty. There's also the sheer fact he could use his tail sword or his fin sword or whatever and just cut them in half. Keep in mind, the wings on his back are also capable of repelling firepower from the Predacons, including Megatron, who was consistently blowing up things like mountains as a casual Tuesday for him. Then you do have the Decepticon dropship mission, or the Decepticon dropship boss here. Now again, Depthcharge could just take the turret, or just, transform and just have at it. I mean, there's really nothing to stop him from just doing that entirely. But in all honesty, it is what it is for this chapter here. Depthcharge should actually be able to get through this. He should be able to help out Optimus, or at least guide him through it here. And, he doesn't really have to worry about the warp cannons because Metroplex will take care of that. And I think the chapter roughly just plays out the same here. And again, because of his flight mode, it's very possible he might just start carpet bombing. So yeah, I think it really is what it is for this chapter. He doesn't really have too much to worry about. So I think we can move on to the next chapter, which is Cliffjumper, which is the Eye of the Storm here. So this one, he simply replaces Cliffjumper in this scenario, and, well, he's going to go through the same things he did. Now, he is going to be, well, because of his cloaker, or him not having a cloaker, he is going to get spotted by the Guardians. But again, the Guardians are actually not that big of a problem here. You see, there is a simple way you can just, get through them pretty easily, and that is to kind of just wait for them to go from behind and, well, just handle them there afterwards here. Now, again, they do have that stealth cracking cloak here, but again, Depthcharge's armor should be able to, well, block any of their pulsing firepower here. And believe it or not, I don't see Depthcharge really struggling to just sneak around them. I do think he might be a little bigger and clankier than Cliffjumper here, but I do think if he does get one, it's very possible he might just throw his tail sword at them and just stab them through here. Now you might say, well, what about his beast form? Do y'all see water around? I'm not even sure if he wants to jump in the acid pool. I think that would probably be a dumb decision. But if he can, though, he could just pull, like, some crocodile-like ambushes and stuff. He is a giant stingray. But, or, dang, I actually thought about something, but nah, that's a little too graphic. Let's just move on to the next chapter, which is Jazz. So, believe it or not, this is really just him dealing with the Insecticons. Now, the first Insecticons he does encounter are the crawlers here, but we'll go from the weakest to, well, the strongest pretty easily, right? So, with that being said here, him dealing with the basic Insecticons like the flyers and crawlers should actually be not that hard at all here. He's definitely going to have to keep it more melee for right now here. So he'll be using his tail sword and everything, stabbing them, cutting them in half and stuff here, outmaneuvering them and everything, and then obviously dealing with the flyers. Then there are the snipers, which he will just simply one-shot with his tuna cannon. So yeah, believe it or not, Depthcharge is making quick work here. I don't really see too much of a problem here. The snipers are only a problem if you don't get a lock on them on time, and then they'll just kind of like chip at you over and over again, to which Depthcharge is not gonna have that happen. Plus, again, he can use the tail fins, or the his wings, excuse me, as shields to actually block and deflect firepower. So yeah, Depthcharge seems to be making quick work of these basic chapters. I actually realize that there is a lack of boss fights in Fall of Cybertron right now, and I'm not disappointed. I'm just saying it's just I guess you could say it's just not that fun. Now we'll skip the Grimlock chapter, because again, that is just mainly a melee part and nothing too special here. So we will head to the Fall of Cybertron chapter, or the ending chapter, the final countdown, if you will, excuse me. So believe it or not, the first half of this is pretty simple. It's simply a Jetfire mission for the Autobots here, where the Decepticons connect their coils from the Nemesis and just use it to, try and invade the Autobot ship here. So Jetfire's chapter should be nothing to Depthcharge at all. And then, believe it or not, he can kind of intercept Bruticus at that point, which, yeah, I don't think there's really anything wrong with that. And this is because, like, Jetfire's chapter is, like, so brief and so short. In all honesty, it's not fair, considering we really don't get to play as the aerial bots as much as we do anymore. But then we also have the sheer fact that Depthcharge is also a flyer. Even if he's like an aquatic stingray, he actually is pretty good in space here. And he is a pilot as well, so that actually does help him out here. So, yeah, with that being said here, we could actually move to his actual boss fight, that being Bruticus. Now, thank God Depthcharge can fly, because if he couldn't, I do think this would have actually been a rougher course for him. With the help of Jetfire, it is very possible that Depthcharge just simply, I guess you say, does the same thing Jazz does, but using the thrusters on his back, he's able to elevate himself and outmaneuver Bruticus significantly, even avoiding the Sonic Pain Wave, possibly even luring some of the Leapers towards Bruticus here. Oh, and fun fact, did you know that this fight actually happened in the comics? Yeah, believe it or not, Bruticus actually ambushes an Autobot team that Jazz was leading, and Well, it didn't work out for him. So it's nice to know he got the rematch in a future game. So with that being said here, Depthcharge actually clears this level here. However, he does not complete the entire game. Now you might say, oh, because the Decepticon chapters, right? No, and it's simply because he has one more boss at the very, very end of it. Megatron. And there's no way Depthcharge is beating Megatron at his peak here. He's more skilled. He's way more tactical. He's got easily the hand-to-hand advantage and definitely a more powerful weapon in his fusion cannon. So in all honesty, with that being said here, yeah, I do think he stops at Megatron. There is no amount of help that is going to save Depthcharge in this situation. Now, if he tag teams him with Optimus, then yeah, then that just gives Optimus more openings. But overall here, Depthcharge simply gets a 90% completion at best here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. And make sure you stick around to the end so you guys know what the next video is. Peace.